Welcome to today's work. Today, we're going to be looking at all of the champions that have been released in Marvel Contest of Champions in the month of January. This is very important because we need to know who is the best champion ever released in this month. Who is the strongest? We're gonna rank them all. And we're talking 10 years, 19 champions. Boom! There it is. All right, we're going back to the year 2015. The first ever champions released after the initial start of this game. As far as I know, this is based on Aunt May's information, so I just looked at those release dates, and according to those, the first two champions to be released. First one, Captain Marvel Classic. You see her down there in the corner? As far as where I want to rank Captain Marvel, F tier, I think. She doesn't have a lot going on. She hasn't been touched, ever. I don't think she's been buffed. She was one of the first to come out, so they still, the abilities at the time weren't crazy. Like, what does she even do? She's got poison immunity, she absorbs energy attacks in her block, she gets, like, fury sometimes, but other than that, she doesn't have a lot going on. I don't think there's too much to say about her, and I think she belongs in the F tier. Oh, wait! I need to explain what these tiers are. S tier will only have one character, only one can be the best. It's the best. S tier. A tier is God tier. You're gonna use them all the time, and they have so many uses. B tier is good. They have some uses. Maybe you don't use them super often, but they have utility. C tier is mid, where maybe you'll use them. Maybe some people like them. They don't really, have a good place in this game, though. And then F tier is just basically absolutely useless. So starting things off with Captain Marvel, she's useless. Magic. Magic is a character, the second character that was released in January alongside Captain Marvel. Did you know that? Because I didn't know that. But what I do know is that Magic is not an F tier character. She's not a C tier character. She is a B tier character. Purely and only because she's a 5-star. She's actually so powerful that they had to keep her at 5-star. They couldn't let her be a 6-star because she would break the game. So realistically, she belongs over here. She belongs in the A tier, but because she's only a 5-star, people don't really use her. B tier. What can I say? But man, her abilities. She can just power lock people infinitely. And that's why she's so powerful. I've always said if I had a body like Magic, I would cosplay as her every day. You know what? I'll say the same thing. If I had a body like Magic, I would not even just cosplay as her. I would just wear this every day. My goodness, the power I would have. So that was 2015. Now we move on to the year 2016. And this is where we run into Miles Morales, who I am also going to put into the B tier. He has been buffed from what he originally was. If we're talking original Miles Morales, maybe the F tier. But with his buff, he's got a little bit more utility. He's liked a little bit more. Honestly, I could see him dropping down to the C tier. I think he's underrated. There's better options out there for what he does. I'm okay to move Miles down to a C if that's the general consensus of the people, because I'm not super confident in my understanding of Miles' abilities. I just don't know a lot about him. Realistically, I guess I don't see people use him all that often, but I think people are underrating him, and he kind of fits like right here. He kind of goes halfway through on both of them. Well, let's stick Miles into the C tier for now and move on to the next character. Oh, you guys are gonna love this one. It's Cyclops. 90s Cyclops, who, in my opinion, is the cooler Cyclops. He just looks cooler. He looks like a dude. And he fits right into, as Kabam Michael would say, F tier. He goes into the F tier. Come on now. Put him on the list. Put him on the buff list. The mutant class needs some work. Can we forget about Red Guardian? I'm actually cool if we forget about buffing Red Guardian and do Cyclops instead, because the mutants need it. We wish he was better. And then we hit 2016. And this is where things start to come alive. This is when characters started to actually have abilities that are useful. We started that off with Cable. So Cable goes into the C tier. When he was first released, I think he was a little bit better, but realistically, nobody ranks him up. Nobody uses him. I don't think he's an F tier. I think he's got a bit more utility than that. And he also has his synergy with Apocalypse, which is where he kind of shines. You put that Apocalypse synergy on him, and you know, he'll do his thing. He does some degen. The character released alongside Cable, however, is Gwenpool. Gwenpool, who used to be a pretty dang popular character. You know, back, we're talking 2016, the top 2 characters that I wanted at the time were Hyperion and Gwenpool. I was chasing 4-star versions of them so hard, and she's not an F tier character. I think she also fits into the C tier. Definitely ahead of Cable, though, in my opinion. Dude, Brian Grant did Labyrinth of Legends with his Gwenpool. That was super fun to watch. I think she's fallen off in a big way, but she used to be big. She used to be up there. She just doesn't have the same use that she used to. And the things that she could do, she's been replaced by champions who do it better. That was the year 2016. We now go to 2017, where there was a very exciting release of a new character we were all super stoked for. The power of a million suns, Sentry. Ooh, he's so powerful. Ooh, he's so cosmic and cool. Except for, wah. Nobody uses him. Ever. There are some maybe huge fans of Sentry that like the character. He's got like pieces. The potential is there. And again, same thinking as Cyclops. I wish they would buff Sentry. And I don't know why they went for Red Guardian. I don't know why they picked Red Guardian. They've also picked Luke Cage, too. And I just wish Sentry was good. It would be cool. If he was like Adam Warlock level, he should be there. But instead they pulled a Gladiator and they made him... Ugh. Along with the Sentry release, there was another character that came out. And, you know, that's the other half, was Void. I think I'm gonna stick him in as the first A-tier character, the first God-tier character to be released in January. He definitely, he's less used now. However, he is out as a 7-star. People are gonna start getting him, gonna start ranking him. He can still be a menace in Battlegrounds as a defender. He's got the tank, he's got the health, he's got the damage that you just can't like avoid, and he can catch you. He can catch you off guard. And then on attack, he's got all this utility. He's the reverse regen king, and he deals a lot of damage once you get him all ramped up. So I'm excited. I'm so excited for the day that I get my 7-star duped. He goes into that God tier. All right, that's the year 2017. We now move on to the year 2018. 2 more characters were released, and oh man, was this exciting, because goodness gracious, the Fantastic Four are coming to the game. What an exciting time to be alive. And we started things off with Diablo being released as a villain that came alongside somebody else from the Fantastic Four, who we will get to. I'm feeling like we might stick Diablo into the B tier, or we could go into the A tier. He used to not be great, but with his buff, he's got that sustainability. He heals himself, he does the poison damage. The main thing that I have a hard time with is after tossing that special 3, trying to cycle the special 1 to keep those poisons up is a little bit tricky. You gotta be really aggressive. I think he earns the right to be an A tier with that buff of his. Alright, he came out with Thing. That's the Fantastic Four character he was released with. The Thing, as a defender, is an absolute menace. He can ramp up to some decent damage. Is he a B tier character though? I feel like, especially recently, he's kind of fallen off. He's got a lot of counters. His job is to be a defender. I think he's a better defender than Magic, right? I still toss mine into my deck in Battlegrounds most of the time. So he's just a reliable defender, but he's definitely, especially in the last year, like he's fallen off. People have just discovered with Battlegrounds coming out, I think that's really helped people to get around a lot of the tricky defenders. And from 2018, we now move on to 2019. We got the release of Squirrel Girl! Oh my goodness, it's Squirrel Girl. What does she even do? She has abilities. That's a fact. Yeah, she's staying in the F tier. I don't think you can convince me otherwise. The other champion released in 2020, Nova, fits right into this B tier. He's a good character. He's a good character, what can I say? Has he been buffed, or was he always the same? I want to rank my Nova up. And I hope that he gets released as a 7-star too. I think he would be like the perfect cosmic 7-star. And I was actually hoping that he would be in the vote. You know, when we got to vote for the characters, I would take him over a 7-star Null. Yeah, I think he's good. And I've seen people use him on attack. I've seen people use him on defense. I think he's a B tier. I think he's a good character. That's 2020. That was 2020. Now we move on to 2021. where we saw the release of popular mutant Jubilee. Hooray, Jubilee. I think Jubilee fits very nicely into this F tier. Does anybody use Jubilee? Put her below F? She's above Cyclops and Captain Marvel. Like, she's got some abilities going for her, but I think she's at least too complicated for me to understand. And I think she takes too much work to get done what she needs to get done. I don't see anybody use Jubilee, talk about Jubilee. Okay, wait. People are liking her more than I expected, so you don't have to say any more than that. I'll put her at the bottom of C tier, okay? She's better than Squirrel Girl. Cool. Maybe we just call her mid and be done with it. C tier. And then we get the other mutant released that month, Strife. Strife in 2021. Strife in 2021, people were thinking this. And then we hit 2021 and a half, and people were thinking this. And then we hit 2022, people were thinking this. And we were hitting 2023, we're hitting this. We're in 2024 now. What does that mean? Strife in B tier? Wait, okay. So we're gonna say that Strife is good. I don't even have 6-star. Wow, there's a lack of Strife in my life. The people have spoken. Strife goes into the B tier. Bottom of B tier. That's my say. That's my say in the matter. I'll let you say that he's B tier, but I'm stopping him from going any higher. That is the year. What year is that? 2021. Now we move on to 2022. And I'm looking at this and I'm realizing, wow, we got a lot of mutant releases in January in a row. What happened to the mutants? Where did they go? January should just be a mutant month. Boom. Toad released. And I think Toad goes into the A tier. Huh? He's got utility, he's got prowess. He can be a bit of a menace on defense. There's a lot of ways to counter him. So he's not guaranteed to be great on defense, but I think he's got that utility. And I'd say he's underrated, even, yeah. A tier for Toad. I think he's a top 5 mutant in the game. The character released alongside Toad, Sauron, was released, and I think he fits very nicely here, right? I have him as a 7-star. I've used him as a 7-star, and he's actually, I think he was underrated, and he came out swinging. He's more relevant than Strife. I agree with that. He can catch people on defense. People still use him. People rank him up. He's a bullseye counter. Next up, we move on to the next year, the year 2023. Wow. Whoa. And in 2023, we got Baron Zemo. Whoa. Baron Zemo goes into the B tier. There could be arguments for him being mid. Everybody remembers Zemogate. Everybody was freaking out over how people were ranking up Baron Zemo before Necropolis came out, because everybody's going to be using Zemo. I've seen like 2 people use Zemo. Alright, so it's not like he's the bottom of B tier. I think he does have use, and people use him on defense. Actually, yeah, people use him on defense in Battlegrounds a lot, because he hits hard. It's hard to stun him, so he actually gets a bit of defensive use, and a lot of people have him ranked up. I think he's good, but I don't think he's God tier. I'm not going to put him above Thing. I just can't. I don't have it in me to put him above Thing, but I can stick him right there. A lot of people do use him. He does get a lot of use. He's just not God tier. Can we make a new tier just for Abs Man? No. But speaking of Abs Man, the beautiful man himself, a shirtless dude, and my candidate, and who I believe is in a league of his own. I think he's the one. I think he is the best character ever released in January. And I don't think people would argue with me on that. F tier, okay. You guys are hilarious. I don't think there's even much of an argument here. Who else could possibly be S tier? It's gotta be Absorbing Man. Let's make a tier list only for Abs Man and rate his forms. What if we made a tier list for Abs Man and rated his abs? I prefer the middle right one. Oh, the right middle ab, dude. S tier. S tier right ab. I like bottom left ab. S tier. I disagree. You know, if I'm being honest, the person that I see the most in Battleground decks is Absorbing Man. Bar none. Absorbing Man is the one I see the most. If I had to say the one that I see the second most, it would probably be Zemo. At least in the past couple of months. So what if we bump up Thing, also bump up Zemo? I don't know. These two move together. Whatever happens. You know, if we're basing this off of who we see in Battleground decks, it looks right. I'm looking at this, and this looks right to my brain. But now we come to this year. Bada bing, bada boom. Bullseye comes out. Oh man, Bullseye comes out. And oh, does he come out into the S tier. Just kidding. I think he fits right here. Well, okay. If we're being honest, do we put him like top of A tier? It feels a little early to rank him. People will learn how to fight him. He's not good on attack, as far as we know. But he's a menace on defense. He's one of the toughest defenders that we've seen. And he came out, you know, following Photon and Onslaught, you know? And he's still maybe scarier than them. He does have the potential to fall off. So we'll have to keep a close eye on the future and see where he ends up. And then we get the final character, the character who's not even out yet, so I probably should not actually be ranking them yet. It's White Tiger. I'm so stoked for White Tiger, dude. I'm gonna, you know, just take a little guess. I would say she's very easily A tier, though. I don't know if she's gonna be a hard hitter, but she does have that insane power control utility, which I think could very easily put her right next to Bullseye and Void. I don't know for sure. So for now, we're gonna stick her into the A tier. I do think she's gonna have a hard time finding a place, at least in my roster. I think the thing that's like one of my favorite parts about her is she doesn't activate her special 3. Like automatically. You have to manually activate the special 3, which I think is a really cool mechanic. She gets Furies, she gets Precision, so she's hopefully gonna be critting a lot, so I'm hoping to see some good damage out of her. She's the definition of a Mystic champ, spamming specials over and over while controlling the opponent's power and dealing big damage. Yeah, there should be a D tier. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for February. We'll come back in February and we can have another tier. There you go though. This is every champion that has been released in January so far. This is how I rate them. And everybody agrees, nobody disagrees. I'm very smart. Yeah, I appreciate you all watching. If you want to leave a comment about what you think, go ahead and let me know. Tastefully. Make it tasteful. Appreciate you.